This is the chapter 5.1 through 5.5 review answer key. Following along with the answer key worksheet, question 1 said write an equation of a line with slope equal to -4 and y-intercept equal to 1. Recall that the slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b. So the line that has a slope of -4 and y-intercept of 1, its equation would be y equals -4x plus 1. The next two equations say write an equation of a line that passes through the given points. The first set of points is -9, 1, and 8, 0. Sorry, excuse me, 0, -8. And the third question that goes along with it is same question, but through the point -4, -6, and 0, +6. In either case, we still need to find the slope and the y-intercept as before. In this case, the slope's not told to us, but we can find it. Again, recall the slope formula, which you should know. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or in this case, if we label the points x1, y1, x2, y2, we take, say, in this case, -8 minus 1 over 0 minus -9. That's -9 over +9, which is -1. I'll further note that a y-intercept is when the x-coordinate is 0. So point 2 is actually telling us the y-intercept. Again, because the x-coordinate is 0. So the y-intercept in this case is actually also -8. So the equation in slope-intercept form is -1x minus 8, or y equals -x minus 8. Similarly, again, note that the x-coordinate is 0, so this must be the y-intercept. And we play the same game. So m equals 6 minus -6 over 0 minus -4, which is 12 over 4, which is 3. The y-intercept is 6. Therefore, the equation of this line could be y equals 3x plus 6. The next problem concerned using function notation, but it still was of the same formula. So it said write an equation for a function f where given the following two relationships, f of 0 equals -4 and f of -1 equals -9. Recall, function notation says the rule f when I plug in 0 for x has a value of -4, and the same rule when I plug in -1 for x gives the value of -9 for y. So this is really giving me 2 points, the point 0, -4, and -1, -9. So just as before, we'll use the slope formula, -9 minus -4 over -1 minus 0, which is the same as minus 5 over minus 1, which is positive 5. Also, as before, the y-intercept is when x is 0. So the y-intercept is negative 4. Therefore, the equation of this line in y equals form would be 5x minus 4. Since the problem started in function notation, it should end in function notation, so the rule f, when I plug in x, has the following rule: 5x minus 4. The story problem that went along with this section said an electronic game store sells used games for $12.99 with a $20 membership fee. Write an equation of the total cost to become a member and buy games as a function of the number of games that are purchased. So 1, write a function. Secondly, then find the cost of 6 games. We'll note some important information, namely each game is $12.99 and there's a $20 membership fee. Therefore, a rule that would tell me how much things cost, maybe I say C equals the cost, and about X equals the number of games sold. I know the cost is going to be the price of the games times the number of games sold or bought plus any fees, which is, in our lingo, C is equal to $12.99 times X plus $20. This would be a function. So this would be the answer to part 1. Part 2 then says find the cost of buying 6 games. Well, that's easy once I have a function that says take $12.99, plug in 6, and add 20. Which is equal to, according to my handy calculator, to be $77.94 plus 20, which is $97.94. That's the answer to part 2. The questions from section 5.2 on the review. This time I gave points and slopes, and we're going to try to write equations in slope intercept form as before. So if I gave you the point for -1 and a slope equal to -1, well, we know the slope, but unfortunately this time we're not told the y-intercept, but we do. We are armed with the formula y equals mx plus b. So I can, and I know that all points are x comma y's, so my strategy is to plug these 3 things in for these 3 things and get b by itself. So then I use b then I find b, and then eventually I'll have an equation with a y and an x. I substitute m, I substitute what b is equal to. So this is telling me that I could say that negative 1 is equal to negative 1 for the slope times 4x. 4 is x plus b that's unknown. Negative 1 equals negative 4 plus b. Add 4 to get b by itself. B is 3. M is negative 1, b is 3. This means that the equation of this line in slope-intercept form is negative 1x plus 3. Similarly, if I give you the point 2, 0 and a slope of 4, again, that's an x, that's a y, and I know the general form is y equals mx plus b. So I could say 0 is equal to 4 times 2 plus b, which means 0 equals 8 plus b. Negative 8 is b. M is 4, b is negative 8, y equals 4x minus 8. Similarly below, this time instead of telling you this slope, I give you just 2 points. Not an issue, because we'll find the slope using this slope formula that you should have memorized. We pick one of the 2 points. I like points with smaller numbers and positive numbers, so I'm going to use this point. You can use the other point to find b. It does not matter. We have an x and a y. We have an m. We're trying to find b just like before. Since y equals mx plus b, this is telling me that 3 is equal to 2 times 2 plus b. 3 equals 4 plus b. b is negative 1. We have m, we have b, therefore y is equal to 2x minus 1. Similarly, again, the 2 points, minus 5, 7, and 2, negative 7. The slope is negative 7 minus 7 over 2 minus negative 5. Negative 14 over 7. 2 negatives make a positive. Negative 2. Pick whatever point you like better. It doesn't really matter here. I'm going to go with this one because 2 is smaller than 5. So again, y equals mx plus b. Minus 7 equals minus 2 for the m, 2 for the x, plus b. Minus 7 equals minus 4 plus b. Add 4. b is equal to minus 3. Therefore, the equation for this line could be y equals negative 2x minus 3. The story problem for this section gave you the prices, the amount of money that 2 different campers spend at a campground, and we're trying to find how much money a third camper might spend who was there for a different amount of days. So it's a camper 1 spent 12 days and spent $338. Camper 2 camped for 19 days and spent $506. We'd like to know camper number 3 stays for 30 days but we don't know how much the person spent. We do know that the camp charges a registration fee and a daily amount. So as before, we know that the total cost is going to be kind of the daily fee, the daily amount, times the number of days, plus any fees. So our strategy is find an equation, and then 2, plug in 30 days. Well, if we think of these as points, say x's and y's, then we could use what we did above with 2 points and find an equation with 2 points in slope-intercept form, and then we could just plug in 30. So I'll do that. I want to find the slope, which is the daily amount. I'll look at this equation that even looks like an mx plus b setup. So the slope should be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is, according to my calculator, 168 divided by 7, which is $24 per day. So since I know the daily amount is 24, I could take, say, how much one of the other 2 campers spent and plug it in for the number of days and the cost and figure out what the initial fee is. I'll use the first camper because it's smaller numbers. So I'll say the first camper stayed 12 days and it cost this person $338. So I'll take 12 times 24. 338 is equal to 288 plus the fees. 338 minus 288 is $50. Therefore, the cost is going to be equal to the daily rate, which is 24, times the number of days, plus a $50 registration fee. Which means that the cost for 30 days is going to be 24 times 30 days plus 50, which is $720 plus 50, which equals $770.